read the energy of these questions. What did I do to deserve to be abused by my spouse? What did I do to deserve to be abused by my spouse? Let's start with what's the five. What did I do to deserve to be abused by my spouse? What did I do to deserve to be abused by my spouse? Let's try 4 cards. Drowning. Above all, protection. So there are these legal issues that you have before you. You need to seek divine intervention in this case. There are fragile egos, narcissism, and you are over your head, overextended at rock bottom. So this is where you're at. Now, does that deserve abuse? I'm not sure I understand what this is, what the legal thing is. Maybe, is there money in your welcome, Dylan 5477? Does your spouse have money? Family money? Maybe that family money needs to be protected, and your spouse, welcome. Your spouse wants to protect that money, and so the spouse is trying to drive you away to prevent you from getting any of the family money through your marriage. Is your spouse, is it some egoism? Is this the whole of my day was okay, I guess? It was a good day, yeah. Thank you for asking. So, this might make sense to you. I'm reading a question for someone. So I'm still these cards are kind of confusing. The question was asked and wanted me to read on this question. Person wants to know why their spouse is an abuser. I'm going to ask the tarot this question. What did she do to deserve being abused by her husband? What did she do to deserve to be abused by her husband? What did she do to deserve to be abused by her husband? I thought there was a card that was upside down. What did she do to deserve to be abused by her husband? The world is against her. No support. No support. But there is this forward movement, and a closed mind. Welcome. Love from India. Okay. I will read on you. I'll give you. Did you want a reading? I'll read on you soon here. So what you deserved was being not satisfied. You weren't satisfied with what you had. There wasn't the support or recognition that you needed. But you go forward through your ambition, your blind ambition. You go forward and you are successful in your life. Divine guide, okay, I will be right with you. I'll be with you next. And poor communication. Poor communication. So I see these issues. Okay. I'll come back to the question later. Let's put this over here. All right. I am doing a reading for, I open this stream up by doing a reading for someone gives me the questions, and so just in case no one comes on and asks for a reading, I don't sit here twiddling my thumbs, but I'm going to start by clearing the air. So we'll clear this space out of the spirits of that question, so we can answer your question. And you want a love reading or divine guidance. Okay. So Y seeking a message, divine guidance. So you're seeking a message from Spirit in 717. It's actually 718 right now, but I started this on 717. Divine guidance. I am going to phrase the question for you. What does Spirit want you to know? To know. What does Spirit want you to know? Okay. What does Spirit want Ayushi to know? What does Ayushi need to know? What spiritual thing does Ayushi need to know? What spiritual thing does Ayushi need to know? Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Ayushi. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Ayushi now and all throughout this journey. What does Ayushi need to know? Okay, we're going to start with an energy. Some words. What does Ayushi need to know? What does the Spirit? What does she need to know? Okay. We're starting out with 16, which is 1 plus 6 equals to 7. And 1 is a number for new beginnings. New beginning or new creation. And that is plus contemplation or withdrawing from the world. So that is what this, and so this, that's what this is, new creation plus love and harmony. So we're looking at the beginning of a love relationship. That's the number 16. I can see it as just the value of or a harmony in a relationship. So beginning something new that has to do with love. That's one thing I see from this number 16. But together, the number 16, all these spirits together, to spend time in quiet time thinking about your connection to the divine, thinking about how it is that you love yourself, your neighbor, how you act in the world in that loving way. But then with the number 7, that is a spiritual number. So the word I have for you is that of the moon and a box. So think of the moon, the spirit of the moon. What does the moon mean? It's the light in the sky. Moon energy. The moon illuminates. The moon illuminates spirits in you, spirits that may be both positive and negative. It illuminates illusions, or the lies that you believe to be truth. The moon energy is, you need to think about the moon energy and think about your life and think about those things in your life that are less than honest, because all of us struggle with honesty, especially honesty towards ourselves. And then you think of this metaphoric box or chest that you open up, and what is in that chest? What do you imagine is in this metaphoric chest that you can open up? Confusion and deception, yes. But it's that spirit of, showing you where that is. And that's the way that I'm using the moon energy here, showing you where that is. And so another word that pops up here is owl, the spirit of the owl. And so think about the spirit of the owl versus the spirit of the hog. So two things here. Owl being a wise animal, or that something that can see in the dark, that has good perception and acts in wisdom, but whereas versus the hog, to balance that out is one who is greedy. So you need to be aware of where you have greed in your life, and then also your shame. Try to illuminate or contemplate on the shame that you have. What are you ashamed of? And really think about that, and think about that, and think about that, because that is a spirit that you need to dispel from your life, because that shame can deceive you and be one of those deceptive spirits that you need to eliminate from your journey here. And yes, you do have needs. We all have needs. We all need to be loved, and God loves you. The angels are there to support you. Ask them for help when you need help. So that's from this. But let's go and see what else. What else is there as a message from Spirit? This is a major arcana oracle, and we want to kind of see where you're at. Yes, regarding your finances, and that word cash was there. So yes, it is easy to be ashamed of oneself when your finances are not in order, especially when you think of the mythology of your life, the mythology of who you are supposed to be, what role you're supposed to play in society. We have these different roles, because of what your family name or the gender that you were born into. And those mythologies, you get taught those stories. And one of the things that I have learned, and just to tell you that I don't know how old you are, but eventually you learn as you grow up in your life, you learn that those stories that were taught to you are all, or yes, they help you to guide you, but they sometimes turn out to be BS. Not that they're just outright lies, no. But see, not everybody can fit into those mythologies that are taught us, the fairy tales, like the Prince Charmings or the the fairy, or the princesses. I don't know. I'm assuming that you're male, but you have these fairy tales that are taught us and aren't. But when you're a child, you kind of think that's what you're. Yeah, okay, you're a female. All right, and you're young. So some of those fairy tales about what a man is supposed to be and what a female is supposed to be, sometimes, well, most of the time, they're just flat out wrong. That's just my own. Yes. You get such fairy tales in your mind, yes, and you need to dispel those fairy tales. So that's that whole sense of contemplation and having a new beginning, and that your new beginning is anchored in love. And when we talk about love, I'm not talking about like romantic love or marital love or anything. This is you looking in the mirror and seeing yourself as a beautiful creation and being comfortable with who you were created to be and learning to love that creation. Because when you can love yourself, then you can love another person. You can have that, yes, like Snow White, yes. So the Snow White thing is you need to get rid of those fairy tales because they, and especially if you think that that's what your future spouse is supposed to be like. Yeah. So you want to forget about those fairy tales and sometimes when this world, there's so much of in our world that's just about survival. And how do you turn that survival into a situation where you are thriving in the world? So we have, because our most societies, it is hard. Growing up is hard. There's nothing easy about growing up. And and people, most people, I don't know about in your country, but sometimes in this country people never experience joy. They get trapped in relationships and that with an abusive spouse. But it's not everyone this way, because sometimes people have very loving relationships. And so the theme of today, these are the themes of today, and this is not necessarily due to your reading, but these are the energies that I drew before I started this reading, and I'm gonna finish your reading here just a second here. Overall, trying to find escape from movies and fairy tales, etc. So these are this is the spirit that to think about, that for everybody, not just you, me, is going inside and connecting to your divine feminine and sitting in a sense of comfort within yourself, your own femininity, your own being ability to give to others. Now, this being to love first, and then you can come into this place. So it is, you're coming into a place. It's all anchored in this. Now, this is romantic love, but it doesn't have to be romantic love, because within the human being there is both male and female. And so you and there is God. There's God and there's male and female within everyone, because everyone starts out female, and then certain hormones are triggered, and then people, they become male or they become female. And that's just the biology of human beings. So everyone has this feminine spirit within them, but they also have a masculine spirit too. But anyways, the yin and the yang. And so yes, and and so within the case of what I initially got with you is that all three of these realities are things to think about. And that's what that number 7 is, like the hermit card. It's like it in numerology. It's sort of in its basic sense, it's about looking within and seeing who you are. And these are aspects of yourself. So let's go on. I'm gonna before I'm gonna go on, and I want to just actually see where you're at. Yes, the divine feminine, divine man. So this is a major arcana oracle. And in this oracle, right now, this is you. This is you right now. And we're going to see where you're at in the journey, where you're at today. And the energy of this oracle is about right now. It's not about tomorrow. It's not about yesterday. It's like we're looking at you into the right now. Because you ask about divine guidance, and because we're talking about right now. And so we're kind of looking into right now. And so I'm going to shuffle this up really good. And we're going to go in and look for that card. But I'm going to, I want to get it mixed up really good. And then when it's, all the cards are mixed up good, I want you to tell me to stop mixing it up. And because so this is you giving me the agency so that you can decide where you're at. We're just in the journey between the magician and the world. So I want to say, go back and say some prayers here while I'm doing this. What the hell? Let's find the truth. Let's find out the truth right now. So you can tell me when to stop shuffling. Whenever you feel like the spirit is moving you to say stop, I will stop shuffling. Okay. All right. Let's go find it. Let's see where you're at. All right. What do you know? We have the moon. You're kind of in between the magician and the moon. So, being that you're in a beginning point, you're in a place in the beginning of your journey. And laid out on the table are all these tools. You have fire energy, you have water energy, you have earth energy, and you have air energy. These things are laid out here. And you have this wand. This wand is a conduit between the spiritual realm and the earth realm. And you can draw energy from above and bring it down blow into where you are at. And so this is one of the places that this is where you're at right now. And there's this sense that it is a continual thing, this infinity thing. And it is, you're rooted into the natural world. And so you are in a beginning place and you're getting ready to manifest your future. But what you have to do in order to come to this place is you thinking about that moon energy. Where in your life these are creatures that are coming out of your subconscious. There's a domestic dog, and then there's a wild dog. So there are these domestic spirits, but there is also these wild spirits. And those wild spirits could be that of your instincts, and your instincts that are speaking and being in a place of balance. And so do you see this as the sun and the sun and the moon together? And you need to go through those towers, but as you go through those towers, you're going to find out all the places that you're lying to yourself. Yes, that's right. So in a spiritual sense, because you were asking for divine guidance, and mostly in looking at in your preparing yourself, your spirit, for your life. And one of the ways to prepare for your life is to find out all the places that you are lying to yourself. And we all lie to ourselves. We all have these lies, because the tarot is sort of a universal kind of an archetypal type of thing, where these were all states of being that we possess. And we have these things that we have to learn while we're here. And so, yes. Yeah, I am. I just started, but let me finish Ashura's. Yeah. Yes, that I would call that doubting yourself. You need to, yes, that in that sense of that doubting yourself is you. This is this sense of going inside and looking for wisdom, because you see, I come from a Christian tradition, and the scriptures had talked about how God wrote the law on the hearts of human beings. But this law is not earthly law. This is a spiritual thing, or a template thing, or how that we can connect up to the divine realm through this wisdom that we were all born with. You go inside, and it's there. Of course, that's what the promise is. The promise is that this wisdom is there. And you come out, and then, you pop out of this portal in the sky. But these experiences, of course, are very fleeting. Oftentimes, those mountaintop experiences, they come. Yes, you may. You may. And I'm not quite finished with this reading, but that's what, so these are all states that we have within us. And we all lie to ourselves. We all are, and so yes. So that's what Spirit is telling you, and this will help you, is to try to illuminate, within yourself by contemplation, which is the same as going, in a sense, coming under the sun, under the moon, in trying to identify what these spirits are. So one of the ways that you can do this identification is to journal. And what I used to do when I was young, when I was your age, when I was older, I would go to Mass. I haven't been to Mass for a while, but I would go into a sanctuary. I would sit down with my journal. I would just open it up. And then I'd ask the question, what am I feeling? And then I would start writing. Now, sometimes it didn't start writing, but usually I would ask that question, what am I feeling? Because, as a man, men oftentimes have trouble identifying what it is they're actually feeling. At least I do, and I know that a lot of men in my culture have hell of a time trying to figure out what it is they feel, what they're feeling. I don't know what I'm feeling. Half the time, I don't know what the hell I'm feeling. You have to spend time thinking about that to figure that stuff out. So go and journal, and maybe you ask the question, what am I lying to myself about today? What am I lying? How am I lying to myself today? You see what I'm talking about? Yes, and expressing their emotions. Men don't have. It's because we're not in our society or whatever that we've had going on for the last several thousand years. We just it's easier to bury that stuff down. But when you bury that stuff down, when you bury those emotions down and down into this pond here, that's how you can make yourself sick or insane, or there's other things that happen that way. And anyway, I think it's, to answer your question, it's more than a belief. It's more of a knowing. But sometimes I do not act in a way that is in accord to the knowing that I know is true. Does that answer your question, Galv? Okay. So, anyways. Yes, because men are taught to be strong, to be protectors, and so forth. We're taught these things, and I have another one of these icons. Yes, this was the icon I was thinking of. This image here, where this is how this is most people's experience with God. I think it is that every now and then you may have one of these experiences, and I'm going to speak for you, Galv, as well, is that these are these mountaintop experiences, and we have them, and then they're up there, but then you have to come down the mountain, and you go back into regular life, and you're just back here down in the Yeah, yeah. I understand that, being attached to people really quickly, and that I have that problem too, and it's that you just love everybody, but you have this. It is important to love everybody, but that attachments that you feel, it needs to be. And so the word that I um initially saw for you was owl, and that is to have the wisdom to temper those emotions, because you get attached, you get, you journey, you go along, and you have all these lovely people and these things, and they're there in your life, and you just love them to death, and then they're gone, and then you're left feeling empty and sad, and all of those kinds of things, or maybe even questioning is, why did they go away? Why did they leave? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes. And so this, so what spirit is telling you is that you need to really work on yourself to identify these things, identify the wild spirits, identify the domestic spirits, and identify the monsters. And that's also very important, to identify the monsters. And those monsters are, those are illusions, and those are, but we all have those things in our lives too. These are these things that can come up, and they can just really just disrupt our relationships and so forth. And that, let's say just as an example, it would be, I'll just use me for an example. When I was younger and poor, and I'm still poor, but I measured my attractiveness by my pocketbook, by my bank balance. And so, attractive woman, and I want to talk to attractive woman, and I'll be, yes, welcome. And then I would sabotage any relationship from ever beginning, because that monster within me said, you're not attractive because you're poor. And this woman will find out. She'll see it. She'll see that you're poor, and she'll leave you. And so that is one of these monsters from the deep. And that was a lie. That was an outright lie that I told myself. It was a lie that I believed. I believed that women do not like men who are poor. But you see, when you're young, everyone's poor for the most part. It takes a while to to build up to build up some form of financial security, if you even can. But anyways, so I am Galv. I am doing a reading for Ash- Ashuri right now, and I can answer your question in just a moment, and we can talk about that, because we have Chinese Disco Babe has a question as well. And so I'm just doing it, and so I don't know, that's so that was my, and so that's kind of what spirit wants you to know, is you need to think about the monsters. You think, so with the domestic spirits, those are those things that are in your everyday life, or in your life, and then the wild things, those are things that they can come from outside of your life, but they may also be those spirits within yourself that are purely instinctual, that are really instinctual. So you just kind of think of these are these two dogs, and but then there's other elements of dogs, because dogs are domestic dogs especially are loyal, loving creatures. You don't know about the wild ones like the wolf. They they're hungry, and they are. I'm sure that amongst themselves they are loyal and loving creatures. But when I mean, people have been afraid of wolves forever, because wolves, they hunt in packs, and they can tear you apart. So that these wild spirits, they can tear you apart if you think of it in terms of a wild creature like a wolf. Tame dogs, you never know, because it may not be your dog. It may be someone else's dog, and that. Anyway, that's what I'm kind of talking. Yeah. Well, thank you. My name is Bill, but that's just what Spirit has told me right now. I want to finish this reading because you just asked for this, and that's what I gave you. I want to finish with Mary Mother, because I asked. I'm just a conduit here. I'm just a conduit. That's all. And this here, so I will just leave with you with this, and this will be your final card here. And Mary, and so let me just. Okay, let's just do this. So, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for you now and all throughout eternity. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women. I think this is your card. Our Lady of Promise, and this is what it looks like. It will be your turn, but just hold on. So in this basket, there's one egg, and that shows as a beginning of a thing, but your heart is kind of shrouded behind this veil. We also have another number here: 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. Huh. So number 8, manifestation numbers. And so you look at the face here, and you have these eyes. They're not worried eyes. There's a bit of a contentment there. Your heart here, holding on to your heart, being surrounded by this blue, watery, spiritual energy. And in your hair are these strands of electricity, these electric fire in your hair, illuminating your way. And Our Lady of Promise, as you labor towards a peaceful resolution and become willing and capable of stepping into the freedom of a new cycle of your destiny, her light is there. Her promise is urging you onward no matter what is happening for you right now. The deep truth of what is unfolding is her promise of new life Everything else is just a symptom of that. Have faith, trust her, and believe. Okay. Thank you. I hope that helps you, Shuri. You can come back to this video, this live stream, and go back in and review this section at a later time. And please share this my channel to people that you may think there might be of some might be a benefit. Okay, I'm going to clear the air. So who do we got? We have, let me pull this thing back. We have Sherry. Okay, let's see. There is someone else back up here. So is Chinese Disco Babe here? I'm going to, I see Chinese, okay. And then there is, I will be right with you, Chinese Disco Babe. I'm going to write down the list because there's some other people who, wait, I got to see, I want to make sure if I haven't, okay. So Chinese Disco Babe, there's one person that's right before you, and so it is Amiel is before you. So then it goes like this, and then there is the other guy with the question, Gal. So I think it goes like this. This is the order that I have so far. So I'm just this is okay. Thank you, Chloe. It's not. I think it's done. I'll just show that off here. So we're gonna put this aside. Thank you, Yushi. Thank you. And I'll show this off first because Chloe wants to see it. And this is what I painted this week on my other channel. And there we go. I know it's kind of difficult to see, but that's the painting there. All right, now I'm going to clear the air. I have too many decks around me and not enough space. Okay. And so this is for Amiel. Who's next? Okay, thank you. Let's clear the air, clear the spirits air, and get ready for Amiel's question here. Okay. Would you like to restate your question? Let me see if I can find your question. Ayushi, I don't do social media anymore. The only social media I have is YouTube, and I have two channels. I have this channel, and then I have my other channel that I use for do painting and stuff like that. On the channel header, I have my show email address. It's and just don't spam me. Don't spam me up. But you can go contact me through my email if you want, or you can just come onto my community tab page because I post fairly often. I post I plan to go do 5 lives a week here, but sometimes I get migraines and I can't do it. And or whatever. Or I also take care of my mother who's in almost 90 years old, and so sometimes emergencies happen and I won't be able to come here. But I need Amiel has his question. I want to well, I don't know. What I wasn't speaking to you. I was speaking that anyone else. I get spammed anyway from a lot um, of other things that come popping into my email account. You always got to say it out. Say it. Power to her. Yeah. Want to know. I want to know what his question is. That's what I want to know next because he has a question and I don't know where he went to. And oh, there he is. Okay, I see. I see the question. Okay, so about X. So does okay, well, a new boyfriend. Okay, I got your question. That's a nice yes no question. And just in case I can't, so will my ex come back? Okay. All right. It sounds like this is the better question because your ex isn't here, and this is how I'm going to ask the question. Did I clear the air out? I think I did, but let's just make another noise here. And I will give you my second channel name here just a second. After okay, and my second channel is actually attached to this channel too. There's my second channel. Okay, let's go one more sound here I want to get I want to get the spirit over here to Amiel. It's a 3-card yes, no. 3-card yes, no. Will Amiel's ex ever come back? Will Amiel's ex come back? The answer to the question is no. There is good memories. She does have good memories about you. Her broken heart has started to heal. And there is a sense of a lack of inspiration here. So the first question is now, does she have a boyfriend? Well, let's just see. Does she have a boyfriend? Does she have a boyfriend? Let's see if the spirit will even answer this question. It doesn't look like she has a boyfriend, but it's difficult to read on somebody who's not here. So we got these deceptive spirits here. So maybe there is a sense that she's not ready to move on. There is love. There's love to give. There's love to give another. And in a sense of a waking up to her, waking up to the lies here. So that's kind of in this sense, and awakening there. What did I say there? I forgot already. Huh, amazing. Anyways, that's what we have. But you know what? Who broke up with who? Did she break up with you, or did you break up with her? Or was it kind of a mutual thing? She broke up with you. Okay. So then her broken heart started a lot earlier, but now she's kind of over with her broken heart. But so she's kind of ready there, but maybe not there. Let me I want to read a card here from Mary Mother just for you. But I think I want to do is add up these numbers. I forgot to do that. We don't have enough space here. I need a bigger table. So we got 1, 6, 7, 10. Well, the spirit of this, the number experience of this is of new beginnings. There's a new beginning that's ready to happen. But there's a hesitant from the numerology. There's a hesitancy to begin new, and that because of these memories, because of the memories. Okay, that's one thing. So it is 10, which is 1, reduces to 1. And then with this one, 7. The other one is 7. And which is being, the spirit is that in the spirit of this one, it's about withdrawing into oneself. Withdrawing into self. Into self. So there's a, so in this sense, it is a withdrawing into self. Not necessarily a contemplate, but anyways, that's kind of, so she broke up with you. All right. Okay. I'm going to give you one more card to see what Mary Mother has to say for you in this situation. So this is the message for you. So there's 11 roses above her head. 11. You're looking at the number 1 reflected in there twice, a balancing of the number 1. 1, 1. The magnification of the number 1. A new beginning, the magnification of the number 1. A magnification of the number 1. 1, 1. The balancing of opposites. The yin and the yang. The balancing of expectations against reality. And surrounding this space are 3 birds flying around. Birds representing messengers, messengers of God, buzzing around, loving you. You are loved. And Mary's gown, her cloak, on it is the tree of life, a heart on fire, burning with love to give others. And surrounding in this space is the stars and the lights in the skies. So you have the stars above, in the Garden of Eden below. In the Garden of Eden, it is that beginning place, the place where all humans began. They began in the garden, and then they went out of the garden, and out of the garden, they began to live their true and authentic lives. But every now and then, you do need to return to the garden, in order to recharge yourself. That 1, 1 magnified together. That 1, 1 magnified together. The 1, 1 magnified together. Our Lady with the moon at her feet. There can be suffering in recognizing what lights up your heart and then doubting whether it is possible to manifest it. Our Lady knows what will help you break through spiritual inertia, freeing yourself into fulfillment. That which seems impossible to change shall be overcome, not through force, but through perseverance, trust, and devotion. Believing in her as she believes in you, and all shall fall into place. All right. Thank you, Amiel, for letting me read for you. So that's the third reading here. Okay, now, Chinese disco babe. I hope that you're still here, Chinese disco babe. Okay, all right. Let's clear the air, and then you'll ask your question. Let me have a drink of water here. Right. Be at peace. Quiet. Be quiet. Listen. It's the truth. The truth. The truth. And what is your question? It is job orientated, right? Because that's what you were asking about before. Okay. Of the her upcoming interview with with affluent wealth and how will fit in to the company should she be hired. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I get this impulse here to give you a page number, and for the vibe of this company, I want to see if I need a page number. Two. 2 6. 2 6 1. So we're looking at an overall number of the number 9, which is a manifestation number of completion. So what is the vibe of her upcoming interview? What is the vibe of the upcoming interview going to be like? Page 261. Interesting. Doing the will of him who sent me and bringing his work to completion is my food. Do you not have a saying, 4 months more, and it will be a harvest? Listen to what I say. Open your eyes and see. The fields are shining for harvest. The fields are shining. The fields are ready for harvest. Doing the will of him who sent me and bringing his work to completion is my food. 4 months more, and it will be a harvest. Listen to what I say. Open your eyes and see. The fields are shining for harvest. So, a vibe of that is the harvest time, that it is time for your efforts to come to a place of completion. That is probably what you're hoping to happen. So let us take a look over here. Okay. What is the vibe upcoming, what is the vibe of Chinese Disco Babe's upcoming interview? What is the vibe of it? What is the overall vibe of the interview itself? What is the energy of the interview that she will have? Okay. So these are energies that you don't want to bring in with you. The energies you don't want to bring in with you. All right, Chloe. 323. Well, angel number 323 is being blessed with knowledge, but now that's for you. Okay, so this is the cards that popped up when I asked for what is the vibe of this interview. Gossip, worry, fear, and being clingy. So these are spirits that, if these spirits are within you, don't bring them to this interview. If you're, so that would be that would be my, and however you answer those questions, make sure you do not bring these types of spirits with you. Now, if you're talking about, let's say, talking the cut, so if you're, when you're talking to what you've heard about the company, make sure that when you speak about the company and how your knowledge of the company, that it does, your tone of voice does not have any of these energies in them of like rumors or gossip. And then you want to make sure also that when you are in that interview, that you leave your fear behind. You're going to want to lay it out, want to lay it all out on the table. So when you go in there, you want to lay it all out on the table, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And then things of like clingy old ways, and if you leave this spirit behind too, because this thing can gum up the work. So that's kind of what this is saying, is about making sure you don't want to gum up the works when you go into that interview. Now let's see if they hire you. Let's see how you will fit in here, because this number 9 is interesting in that that it is like a that's the, because where 1 is the beginning and 9 is the end, and so this this signifies that it could be the end of your journey. And that page that I read out of the missile, the harvest, the end of the journey, that was kind of on that page 261. That was what the spirit of that page was. Baby G, hello. So, all right. How will you fit in? let's just assume you get the job. Let's assume you get get the job. Let's see how you're gonna fit in there. And that's this other part of the question is assuming you get the job. So we're gonna look forward. You got the job. Right now, just kind of try to hold that energy in your head, in your heart right now, that you got the job. Okay, I want to read this question as if you got the job and you want to find out how are you fitting into this company. All right. So Mary, I'm asking this question from a standpoint that she got the job, that she got this job. How will she fit into this company? How will she fit in the company? What role will she play? Interesting. So there's some positive experiences, things, and some negative experiences here. So in a fit kind of a thing, this card represents, in this sense, that you're not going to move very much. So isn't it maybe it's slow progress, or that maybe maybe this job is a stepping stone to another job, because you'll want to be promoted, but you may not get a sense that you may not be promoted in this, but there'll be, in a sense, of maintaining this hope and optimism for doing a good job. But what it may also be is the job may be boring. It suggests that this one here suggests the job is boring. You're not going to move very much, but you will maintain a bunch of hope. The optimism and hope for is present with the star energy. So you got pulling this energy in. So in this sense, that you learn everything that you can from this job. So let's say you got this job. You want to make sure that it'll probably be, this is saying it's probably going to be boring and you're going to feel like you're not moving, but Spirit is saying that you need to learn everything that you can from this place in order to move into in order to take that either into a promotion, another job within this company, or go to another company altogether and take what you've learned in order to build your resume. And so that's what I got for you. And let's just take a look at this number 2. I'm kind of running out of space here. We are looking at, what is this? 8 plus 12 plus 17. And since most of the energy of it is in its reversed form, we're looking at 20, 37. 37, 3 plus 7 is 10. So yeah, if we were looking at a new beginning, but you're looking at the inversion of this, or 10, which is 10, and the inversion of, yeah, or a new beginning delayed, or kind of, that's how to read that number in an inverted form. So a delayed, yeah, I don't know exactly. I was just thinking about that, but where 1 is new beginnings and 0 is infinite possibilities. And you can't invert the number 1. The inversion of that is the number 9, but 9 is an ending thing. Okay, anyways, just forget I said that, because I don't think I fully understand what I just saw there. Anyways, you know what? I'm not actually following. There are no rules on how to read tarot. I'm not using spreads. I'm just sort of, okay. So for instance, you can learn how to read, and then you learn how to read how it makes sense to you. That's my you can get yourself a few books. If you want to learn how to read tarot, I'll pause here first. Let me before I want to end here with for hers with a reading from here, and before I distract myself, and I make it, and I'll answer that other question you have for you. Okay, let's just, while I'm here, I don't want to be distracted. This is for Chinese Disco Babe. A message from Mary, from this Mary Oracle for Chinese Disco Babe, in her quest to be employed. Okay, that one just fell out. There was more than one. Okay, Chinese Disco Babe, I want a number. Give me a number between 1 and 3, please. I want a number between. Or let's do it this way. Instead of that, 3 cards popped out. Which one of these do you like the best? Oh, you want 2? Okay, that's this one then. I would have chosen this one for you, But this one then. So this is the picture. And so what you're looking at this, and if you're just looking at the picture, you're looking at this nurturing spirit here. And this is you, and you're being nurtured and mothered in this moment. And there's 3 roses on her head, and these and 3 is about creative expression and expressing yourself. Now around your head, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13. So around your head, there's 17. There's 17 roses. So you're looking at this 1 and 7, where 1 is a new beginning. 7 is that you're basking in that energy of that new beginning. So you are looking at this type of a spirit. This is you, and this is that direct connection to, and so this is you. This is your higher self, and this is your connection to Source God energy. And it's all on this mountaintop thing. You here, looking at you here, surrounded by glory, a fleeting sense. And so you are in that number 7 energy. You are contemplating or withdrawing, contemplating this. You're contemplating this spirit. But that spirit is this spirit too, because this is Mary Mother who is comforting you, but she is also you. She is also you, your higher self. The self that is in that other realm, your template, the software, the software that is driving the manifestation. So maybe you can just look at it that way. And all this fire here. That's just how you could look at this image. At least that's what the image has said to me right now. But let's just take a look at what the card says. Our Lady protects you from unnecessary struggle, yet there are some challenges that are essential for your soul to grow. These challenges will not be withheld from you because you are entitled to become your full self. You are currently outgrowing that which is too small for your soul. There may be suffering, but out of this will come deep healing, self-love, and gratitude. Your freedom shall come swiftly. Okay, that is the message for you. All right. Thank you for letting me read for you again, and I it's been a pleasure. And okay, now I don't know if Galv is still here, but there was another question that was asked about learning to read tarot. I do have some recommendations, actually. I have 2. If you are my recommendations are for beginning readers to buy 3 decks. There are, and this is one of the decks. I don't actually read this deck. I just bought it. I bought it for this. This guidebook is why I bought this guidebook is an excellent introduction to tarot, and it has on each of the cards it has some of the mystical aspects of it, and so it gives you a good background on where to start, how to start reading. But to get the book, you have to buy this deck. You don't necessarily need to read this. I actually don't read this deck, but I just have this book. These are my recommendations for new readers. That deck, the original 1909. And this one, the Radiant Rider-Waite, because if you get that one and you get this book that comes with it, this is a really good book too, because it is pretty extensive. It has the different meanings of the cards, and you have, let's say, for a love reading, a money reading, a career reading, a family. So it has it broken down, and it's kind of really like a textbook. It's a lot like a textbook, and how to and look, going through things, and have some questions and things like that. And this book here. So, but this book, if you buy the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot kit, you get this book with it. If you buy the 1909 tarot set, you get this book with it. These are great books for starting into tarot. And what I also love about this book is that, okay, it has a good introduction, but it also, in the back, it has a lot of good information, like case studies on how to read spreads. I don't really do spreads, but it to help you to gain that basic knowledge on how to relate one card to another. And that's actually that's actually the hardest part about tarot, is learning how to read one card next to another, and how to read them in combination. And then there's the memorization. So I actually don't necessarily have all the cards memorized. So I use these keyword tarot decks, but I have a lot of tarot decks though. And then let's see, what do we got? I got this stuff here. A lot of books, and so those are good books to start. You can actually just buy this book without buying the deck. That's kind of how I did it. I bought the pocket size because I like mini decks. And I got that book used. But I really love, this is one of my favorite books, because of just how concise the information is. And it has esoteric information. And the esoteric stuff is the stuff that I like to learn about. Then that would be something like that. And the Radiant Tarot deck has a lot of I like the bright colors of it. I actually keep that one of those. That's like my personal deck for reading. But I have like I have 3 different versions of this tarot deck here. Because I do have a tarot channel, and so I like this one too, because it's really brightly colored. This version, the Universal Waite, the colors are fantastic. But to me, as an artist, I'm really attracted to colors and so forth. But yeah, that's that. And I don't know if that helps you any, but that's just as far as getting started with tarot. I mean, but there's really no right or wrong way on how to approach the cards. But the one that really has helped. The deck that helped me to actually read cards is this one. This one is a joke tarot deck, and it can work. It does. People do get really accurate readings out of it, but this one, in something like this, it forces you to actually just look at the image on the card and try to put the story together. And that is actually a very important part of reading the tarot, is actually um, looking at the picture on the card and looking at the and seeing what the, but it's also, you have a sense of, you look at the picture and then you are asking spirit to guide you as to what this stuff means. But I don't know if that helps. I like this one, but this one deck, it takes the pressure off because there is no guidebook with this thing, and it's that these are just images, and you're putting the images together to make a story, and that is some of your best training for learning how to read tarot, is to not get hung up on all the basic definitions and all that stuff. Does that make any sense? So, anyways, that's what I got there. I hope I didn't lose everybody. Is Gallup still here? Is Gallup still here? I know that he had a question, but I think his was more philosophical, and there's a lot of people who said things in the chat. I must have just froze out. Let's go back and see what his question was. I think his question was um, hmm. Yeah, he asked a philosophical question. Let me see. Yeah, he's asking about religion and power structures. And power structures. And that all just comes back to me. I know you're probably not still here, Galv, but long time ago when I was studying religion in college and I did the survey course, I had two choices. I could choose religion, or as my general education credit, because I went to a liberal arts college, I could choose religion or philosophy. And I chose religion, the religion class, and it was like a comparative religion class. It had, I think it went over the five big religions, and I think it also went, because it went into, it was a brief survey of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, I think. And there may have been like a Native American like animism as in there as well, but in within Christianity, it was religion as power, because religion is does and especially when religion is fused in with government, it tends to be well, nothing, in my opinion, nothing good has ever happened when religion um, and government become one, become one. There isn't any examples in history where this has ever worked out to be beneficial to the majority of the people in a society. Because if you look at the 2000 or the you look at the Holy Roman Empire, you look at the you're welcome, homely, welcome. If you look at the Holy Roman Empire and which was that was the church reigned for 1,000 years, and then towards the end, before it broke up, before the Reformation, there was inquisitions, there was these all these power struggles, and there was the church killing people and so forth, and trying to maintain order and whatnot, and clamping down on and just working to control people. And so that's the dark history of the church is that nothing good happens when religion and government become one. And it's it's like yeah, a lot of people in on this earth are under this kind of a rule, and we should pray for them. We should always pray for these folks, and then pray yourself that this doesn't happen, that this doesn't happen to you, because it's like and it's a real hard and just pray for yourself that this doesn't happen to you, because nothing good ever happens when this occurs. That's just my opinion, but that's also the opinion of from what I learned studying religion in college. Studying religion, because there is this element of religion as power, but we're not doing religion here. We're doing we're looking at spirituality, but there's other elements of religion too, and there's this sense of religion, and I think of it in terms of the Latin word of religio, and where religio means is a path to connect to source, SOURCE. It's the path to connect to source. It's the pathway. It's the pathway. It isn't the end all and be all. It's the path. And so there's many paths. And so if you look at, in a sense of answering your question, we look at it this way. We have source, whatever this is. We don't know what this is. No one knows what this is. And people have experiences with God, with source. Maybe they have different experiences, 4, 5, whatever. We have different experiences. And on one side, maybe the experience is Christian, and this is how a person manifests it. In another experience, it's Islam. In another way, it's animism. Animism. Paganism. It's witchcraft. It's Hinduism. It's Buddhism. You think of all the world, and so there's an experience, and there's a point where it's that all these paths lead to the same thing, and this is your experience here. And in one path, you're down here, and in this source, and these spiritual things are manifested as these characters, manifested as these characters, or they're manifested as other characters. Animism is like seeing God in nature. You're seeing spirits in trees. You're seeing spirits in animals. Paganism, you might think of like, I think of it in terms of like, okay, there's different forms of paganism. You have like gods like Apollo, or you have like Thor, or you have the Egyptian gods and goddesses, and you have your pantheon of gods, and each many cultures have a different pantheon of gods. Witchcraft is the manipulation of energy and through spiritual forms and whatnot. And then Hinduism is what, and that's also like a form of paganism, depending on how you learned about it. For you, Buddhism is what is a dispensation of that. It's a different way of thing, and these different things. It doesn't really matter. I'm just writing these down as examples, and you have all these different forms, and you've got the different manifestations, and then maybe you were born into these cultures, and you're born into a Christian culture, or you're born into a Muslim culture, or you're born into a you're born into a Aboriginal tribe, or you were born into whatever culture, and each of these cultures has their own way of expressing source energy, and have a different way of looking at it, their own mythological structures. But what we're doing here is not that. I'm looking at the tarot as a tool. I came out of this perspective. I was born into a Christian culture, and I was born into a Christian family. To me, these kinds of images make sense to me. These images make sense to me. And these are the images that I grew up with. I became a Catholic in my later years, and I haven't, but I'm still loosely in the church and so forth. I just have a different understanding of these things than I just have a different understanding. Anyway, I don't know if you were there, still there, Galv. I don't think you're there anymore. And that probably didn't answer your question, but I don't know. Anyways, it's been 2 hours, and I think I need to go. Is Homily still there? So I have this card, so I'm gonna step off my soapbox now. I'll step off my soapbox now. I'm not and we'll put this over here. Anyways, I think that's all we have for tonight. I should clear the air out, I think. Clear the spirits here, just in case someone else wants to answer a question. So maybe there's no other questions. Then I will close this session out here. a message from Mother Mary for all of us. And I will close out with a reading from my missal. So this is for a message for all of us. Especially for those people who live under oppressive governments. Pray for our leaders that they do the right thing, that they act in the best interest of the people and not themselves. Also pray for the transformation of the hearts and minds of everybody who is alive, myself included, especially for me. Ask for your prayers for me, that I may be a better servant. So, Our Lady of the ripening on the vine, you are closer to fruition than you may realize. The manifesting desires of your heart are the heaven fruit, becoming heavy on the vine and ripening, ready to be enjoyed. Fruit that is not gathered and eaten will rot, fertilize the earth, and be born again. Nothing is wasted, yet that fruit could be sweetly savored by those capable of receiving, gratefully calm and enjoy your harvest. And this is the picture. All right, put that away. Angel number 321, venture into unknown territory. 717, because I started this reading on 717, and that's an angel number. Change your ways, especially the words that you speak. Then, what else did we count? I didn't look at this, read this from this one today, but now we have page 321. Okay, that was what it was, 321. I think I'm going to read this page 2612 again. And that was for what? Chinese Disco Babe. I'll read the whole thing. Yet an hour is coming and is already here when authentic worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. When you think of Father, we're thinking of father, mother, what, however your understanding of this spirit, this source energy. We'll I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to interpret. Indeed, it is just such worshippers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. The woman said to him, I know there is a Messiah coming. When he comes, he will tell us everything. Jesus replied, I who speak to you am he. It's one of those times that he does identify himself. Okay, then that's interesting. Let's go on to 321. 321. Now that was the one page I selected by my tops to start this day off. I give you a new commandment, to love one another as I have loved you. Faith, hope, and love, let these endure among you, and the greatest of these is love. The essential message is that in living this life, we need faith, and that's a big, not faith as a little faith as your religion. We're not talking about religion. We're talking about that spirit of that drives you forward, faith, hope, and that hope, living life in hope, faith, that inner with that inner wisdom, that connection to this spirit, connection to that word that is written on your heart, that law that is written on your heart, the template that is written into you. Faith, being able to connect to your faith, that ability to connect. Hope, because it's hard to live here without hope. And love. When they talk about love, it's that you love by serving others, through service of others, through a charitable heart, a generous heart. Love through by giving of yourself to another individual, or to the earth, to animals, to plants, to creation, being a part of creation, knowing that you are a part of creation and you are a caretaker of creation. Love is an action. It is a thing, but it is a subject, but it is more of a verb. It's an action. It's something that is done. The greatest of these three is love. Where charity and love are found, there is God. In a generous spirit, in a generous heart, and the loving of other peoples, the loving of yourself, that is where you find God. You find God in that place. That is where God is. The love of Christ has gathered us together into one. So the love of in Christ, and we're looking at this as your higher self. So when I said before, this is you, and this is you. This is you. So the more esoteric interpretation of Christianity is that this is all hinted at. This is hinted at in the liturgy. It's hinted at, but no one ever says it out loud. This is you. This is you. Now, this Jesus character, if this Jesus character ever existed, and I have my doubts that if there was ever a historical Jesus, I'm not so sure about that. But this higher self and this self, so this is the software or the template that exists outside of, or it exists inside of you. This is what's on your heart. And then this is the manifestation of that energy in this world. This is you, and this is you. And so, in becoming one with this spirit, through knowledge, through faith, through love. That's what when I see body of Christ, when I see that, that's kind of what I think about. That's what's thinking about there. The love of Christ has gathered us into one, into a oneness, into a one, into a unity. Let us rejoice and be glad. Let us fear and love. Let us respect and love the living God and love each other from the depths of our heart. Where charity and love are found, there is God. Therefore, when we are together, let us take heed and not be divided in mind. Let there be an end to bitterness and quarrels, an end to strife, and in our midst be Christ our God. So in our midst be this. This here is always there. This is you, and this is you. Where charity and love are found, there is God, and in company with the blessed, may we see your face in glory, Christ our God. Pure and unbound joy forever and ever. Where charity and love are found, there is God. That is like a hidden teaching. It's a hidden teaching. It is in the liturgy. It is in the liturgy in the Mass. I learned this from sitting in Mass, that this is you and this is you. But there's a big mountain between these two states. And the realization that this is you and this is you is this awesome thing. And sometimes people actually have this experience and realize this. They get that realization. Sometimes it happens. Most of the times it doesn't. And that's where that faith part comes in. Not everybody gets shown this. Most people have to go on faith that this is true. Faith, hope, and love. The promise that this is true. The promise that things will be okay. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I'll get off my soapbox now. And welcome. I'm Sherry T. And I'm going to close this out, and I'll be back on Saturday night in 2 days. If I can come back tomorrow afternoon after I sleep, I will, but I haven't yet been successful. I haven't posted a live yet from a daytime one. Good night, and thank you for all those who let me read for them. And we'll see all y'all the next time, which will be in 2 days. All right. Good night.